Hello everyone, my name is Minyoung Chang, and I'm a graduate student at Columbia University majoring in computer science. This work was done while I was working at Naval Labs. Today, I'm going to present about SpoxelNet, which is a spherical voxel-based deep place recognition for 3D point clouds of crowded indoor spaces. Let me first show you what kind of spaces we are talking about. The spaces we targeted are very crowded indoor spaces, such as a department store like this, and other spaces including a subway station and an airport. The real data of point clouds collected from such areas are very messy. Although these two scans on the slide are from the same place, the scanned point clouds in each of them is significantly different. In order to overcome these challenges, we decided to implement a deep learning-based method. In fact, there is a great research already done on point cloud-based deep place recognition called PointNet VLAD, which targeted its use for autonomous cars. First, we tested the model on Kitty dataset, which is a point cloud dataset designed for testing autonomous driving related algorithms. As shown in the graph with blue marks, PointNet VLAD mostly succeeded on recognizing places that had been visited before, although it failed in few points marked with red. Then we tested the model on our crowded indoor dataset. However, the result was not even remotely close to the model's performance on Kitty dataset and other autonomous driving datasets. After analyzing the results, we narrowed down the problems into two major parts. The first part is the presence of moving objects. When we visualize the points where PointNet VLAD failed to recognize places, we noticed that point clouds of those spaces included moving objects as shown in the slide. As shown in this slide, our dataset has point clouds of moving objects in almost everywhere. For example, these are point clouds of the same place, but those look significantly different due to the scans of moving objects. Such disparity resulted in the low performance of PointNet VLAD and other point cloud-based methods. The second problem we noticed is the occlusions created in crowded indoor spaces. The bottom pictures are scanned at 2 points that are only 1 meter apart from each other. However, due to the occlusion, those two scans look significantly different. Now, the question is that why the occlusion is so severe in indoor spaces. The answer is the robot's proximity to walls and other objects. Compared to a car at an outdoor road, robots can approach much closer to objects like walls and people walking by. Such proximity results in the occlusion of the laser projected from the lidar sensors and result in an occluded point cloud like this. Therefore, we decided to make some change. Instead of using a raw point cloud as an input, we decided to voxelize the point clouds before inputting them into the network. However, instead of the widely used Cartesian voxelization method, we decided to voxelize point clouds based on the spherical coordinate system. The motivation behind this decision is from the radial projection of laser from the lidar sensors. As shown in this picture, the radial projection of lasers result in different sparsity based on its distance from the origin. And such characteristic results in much denser point cloud near the sensor, as shown in blue here, and much sparser far away from the sensor, as shown in green. Cartesian voxelization, of which the voxel sizes do not vary, may result in false representation of the spaces. Marked with the red boxes here, lasers may not cover voxels that are far away from the sensor. However, spherical voxels have varying sizes in respect to its distance from the sensor, and therefore result in better representation of the spatial characteristics of the point cloud, which will help it to recognize the places that are same. Another thing to talk about this method is how we represented the occupancy of each voxel. Most of the voxelization methods use binary representation, showing the occupancy of each voxel in either 0 or 1. However, given the significant intensity of occlusion in indoor spaces, we added a third value, 0.5, which represents the status of unknown. With this new value, the amount of false representation for occluded spaces reduced significantly. To help you understand, we created a very simple example of scans from two different points that are only one grid away from each other. Here, the widely used binary method shown at the top, the sum of the difference is 3. However, with our ternary method, the sum reduces to 1.5, which is half the original method. This example shows how our method avoids misencoding occluded areas and therefore results in more similar representation for scans that are more structurally similar. This is how we implemented spherical voxelization, which would result in much similar feature representation for the spaces that are spatially similar and located close to each other, regardless of occlusions or the presence of moving objects. Now, let me introduce about the network architecture of SpoxelNet. SpoxelNet is composed of 3 main modules. First is Fine Feature Extractor, which includes 3 layers of 3D convolutional networks and analyze spatial information of each voxel as they are. Second is the Coarse Feature Extractor, which includes pooling and unpooling layers, which helps the model to understand the spatial relationship of neighboring voxels. The features extracted from the first 2 modules are then concatenated and enters our last module, the Quad View Integrator. The Quad View Integrator integrates the structural features of space by concatenating each feature vector with 3 other vectors from correspondingly perpendicular in azimuthal angles. By combining features from 4 different directions, every feature vector gets to contain meaningful information even in highly occluded spaces. The extracted features then enter NetVLAD, which creates the global feature descriptor of the input 3D spherical voxels. The extracted features are trained in metric learning, which results in similar output feature descriptors for similar places. To summarize, we spherically voxelize 3D point cloud and then extract global feature descriptor, which can be used for place recognition. The performance of SpoxelNet was compared with one learning-based method, PointNetVLAD, and a non-learning-based method called ScanContext. The test was done in point cloud dataset of 5 different indoor spaces collected in different date and time. For the testing purposes, both of the learning-based methods are trained with the same kind of data, which is marked with the red box. Test results are shown in 2 types. The first is each model's performance on localization in a pre-built reference map. As shown in the table, SpoxelNet resulted in the highest recall rate for every dataset. SpoxelNet also proved its robustness to moving objects by resulting in similar recovery rate for the same place, but with moving objects removed. Lastly, SpoxelNet also demonstrated its robustness to temporal variation by showing similar recovery rates for different input dates. Another type of test result is each model's performance on detecting loop closures. To compare the results, we created a similarity matrix for each model on a single run of department store data from August 21st, 2019. As shown in this slide, SpoxelNet resulted in almost identical similarity matrix with the ground truth on the left with almost no noise. However, PointNet flood resulted in a lot of noise with much less similar shape. This is the demonstration of place recognition done by SpoxelNet. The top green box shows the input point cloud and the top view of the input 3D spherical voxel. And the bottom pink box shows the retrieved top one result from the reference map. The red box on the very bottom shows the distance between the two origins. Here are a few significant scenes. In this one, we can notice that SpoxelNet successfully retrieved the same place, but that was scanned in opposite direction. And this proves the model's invariance to rotation. This scene shows how SpoxelNet successfully retrieved a severely occluded point cloud. And this scene shows the model's invariance to both moving objects and the rotation. Lastly, I end this presentation with the place recognition by SpoxelNet in series. Thank you for your interest in this work, and please send us an email if you have any question. Thank you.